You walked away. You cried. You shattered. You picked up the pieces of your broken heart. And then he got better. Suddenly, the same man who was cold, cruel, and emotionally distant is now tender, responsible, affectionate, but not with you, with someone new. And you start asking yourself, why? Why wouldn't he change for you? Was your love not strong enough? Were you not worthy? No, this isn't a breakthrough. This is the final trick in a narcissist's arsenal of manipulation. And if you don't see it for what it is, you'll fall into the cruelest trap of all, believing that you were the problem. This video will expose the harsh truth behind that so-called transformation. You'll discover why narcissists seem to change only after you leave, why the new partner is just another tool, and why your silence is the very thing that shakes them to their core. Don't miss a second, because what you're about to learn will change how you see them, and more importantly, how you see yourself. If you're on a healing journey, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and stay with me until the end. Because here, we don't romanticize abusers, we expose the truth. Do you know what hurts the most? It's not the fact that they left. It's not the lies, the sleepless nights, or the times you questioned your sanity. It's when you finally rise, walk away, and then see the person who once broke you suddenly become the perfect man in the eyes of everyone else. Suddenly he's smiling more, taking care of the kids, posting photos of charity work, giving flowers to his new partner. And you, the one who gave him a second chance, a third, maybe even a 10th, you've become nothing more than a closed chapter in his story. But don't be fooled by what you see on social media. That is not transformation. That is disguise, a carefully crafted mask designed not just to fool the world, but to keep you questioning your own reality. Why? Because he knows you're still watching, and he needs you to doubt yourself. You used to believe that if you were good enough, patient enough, forgiving enough, he would change. But the brutal truth is this: narcissists don't change for you. They change their behavior when they're losing control. This sudden improvement after you leave is not a spiritual awakening. It's a tactical upgrade in manipulation. And the worst part? It's convincing because it strikes at your weakest point, your belief that love can heal anyone. But here's the key distinction you must understand. Change is not transformation. Change, in the narcissist's world, is a temporary adjustment to achieve a goal. He's not more loving, kind, or responsible. He's just acting the part to win you back, or to punish you by looking happy with someone new. Transformation, on the other hand, doesn't need an audience. It doesn't happen because you left. It happens when someone looks in the mirror, sees who they truly are, and decides they never want to be that person again. That level of self-awareness, humility, and honesty, a narcissist simply doesn't have it, or refuses to. So don't let this sudden good guy glow up weaken your resolve. When they suddenly become sweet, helpful, or affectionate, it's rarely healing, it's survival strategy. It's about maintaining power, status, and control. And yes, the heartbreaking part is this is what you once prayed for. You stayed up at night wishing they'd change. But now that you finally let go, they get better. And you ask yourself if you gave up too soon. No, you left at exactly the right time, because that version of him is not for you. It's not because of you, and it's not real. What you need to focus on now isn't how much better he seems since you left. Asking yourself, have I changed? Have I truly put myself first? Am I healing? Or am I still blaming myself for something that was never my fault? You don't need answers from the person who broke you. You need the truth. And the truth is this: when someone only changes after losing you, it's not love. It's loss. Theirs, not yours. But if you think their getting better ends with a few temporary gestures aimed at you, think again. Because once they realize you're not falling for it, that you're not melting under a few last-minute acts of kindness, they shift into the next level of manipulation. And this time, they don't do it quietly. They bring the whole world into the scene, crafting a brand new love story, not to heal, but to hurt you more deeply. That's when the new person enters, not as a genuine partner, but as a mirror for your deepest fear. Maybe he is capable of love, just not with me. And this is exactly the moment you need to look closer, to realize that what's happening isn't love. It's a staged performance, carefully directed by the very person you once hoped would change for you. You begin to ask yourself, why is she getting everything I once longed for? Why is he treating her so well when with me it was a living hell? But here's what you need to understand. The new woman isn't more loved, she's just the new tool. She's living in the honeymoon phase, the stage where the narcissist crafts the illusion of being the perfect partner. But that illusion isn't built to nurture real love. It's built to manipulate you, to make you feel like you failed, to plant the thought in your head, maybe I was the problem. No, you didn't fail, you just woke up first. Narcissists don't create love, they create comparison, and in the process they use triangulation to keep you emotionally entangled, even after you've physically walked away. They want you to see them happy, not because they truly are, but because they know you're still hurting. That woman might be getting taken to the beach, the very place you once dreamed of. But what you don't know is that what she truly wants is to stay home with her family, in peace. You were denied even the smallest things, only to watch him now offering them to someone else. But what you don't see are the underlying tensions, the blame that's building, the mask he wears every single day. All you're seeing is the surface. And that's exactly what the narcissist wants you to see. This is a game of appearances, a personal PR campaign, no different from a scripted film with a director, a storyline, and a carefully selected audience. And the most important viewer? Yeah, he didn't change because he loves her. He's getting better because that's how he keeps control over you. As for the new woman, she's being idealized for now, but soon enough she'll be devalued. And if she's brave enough to walk away, she'll be discarded, just like you were, because the narcissist pattern never changes. Idealize, devalue, discard. So stop comparing yourself to her. You're not weaker. You just woke up sooner. And if you're watching all those glossy pictures with a heart that still aches, remember, what you're seeing isn't love. It's a weapon designed to hurt you. It's a tactic meant to make you question yourself, to make you cling to a dangerous hope that whispers, maybe if I go back, things will be different. No, if you go back, he'll return to who he truly is, and this time, it will be worse. Additionally, when a narcissist suddenly starts getting better after you leave, it's not an accident. It's a calculated strategy, and it's not just aimed at you, it's aimed at everyone around you. Why? Because a narcissist doesn't just want control over you during the relationship, they also want control over the narrative about you after you walk away. When you leave them, the first thing they feel isn't grief or loss, it's threat, a threat to their image. Because to a narcissist, nothing matters more than appearances. They need others to see them as the good one, the patient one, the one who tried, the one who got hurt. And you're now a danger to that perfect image. You know the shadows. You've lived behind the smile. You're the one who could expose the truth. So when you leave, especially if you leave boldly with clarity and no intention of going back, they're forced to rebrand. And the first move in that personal PR campaign is to suddenly become better, suspiciously better. They become more kind than ever. On social media, they post about forgiveness, healing, empathy, and growth. With their new partner, they act like the ideal lover, the perfect parent, the calm and emotionally mature partner. Not because they've changed, but because they want to create a perfect contrast with you. They want everyone to think, finally, he/she found someone who brings out the best in them. And by default, you become the problem. They don't even have to badmouth you directly. They simply act so wonderful with the new person that others naturally assume maybe the ex was controlling, cold, or toxic. They don't say you were the villain, they just create a narrative that makes people believe it on their own. This is one of the narcissist's most sophisticated manipulation tactics, playing the perfect victim. They don't need many words, just the right actions, admirable enough, the right tone, humble enough, the right attitude, mature enough, and just like that, they become the one people side with. Meanwhile, whether you stay silent or try to speak up, you'll be painted as the bitter ex who can't move on and who talks behind their back. That's why so many survivors of narcissistic abuse feel suffocated by public perception. No one believes them, no one sees them, and worst of all, no one knows what they've actually been through. You need to understand this. Narcissists don't seek forgiveness, they seek validation. They don't truly want to change, they want to win the public opinion war. And you become the scapegoat for their victory. They'll use you as the example that proves, I really tried, but he/she was just too negative. I just wanted peace. But they always created drama. I never felt truly loved until I met this new person. These phrases might sound sad and heartfelt, but in reality they're sharp blades wrapped in beautiful words, all designed to do one thing: shift the blame onto you and the new partner. They're just the walking proof of, I'm capable of love, just not with you. So don't be surprised when you see sweet posts, healing quotes, or glowing photos of their new life filling your feed. It's not healing, it's not growth, it's a cover-up operation, an effort to erase the pain they caused you by replacing the truth with a more morally polished version of the story. You may feel the urge to speak out, or explain, to tell the whole truth, but be careful. The narcissist will twist your resistance into evidence that you're bitter, vengeful, and can't let go. So what should you do? You don't need to reclaim your image. You need to reclaim yourself. Truth doesn't need to be rushed. Time will eventually expose the act they're putting on. The more grounded your silence, the more focused you are on your healing, the clearer the truth becomes, and not just for others, but for you, because truth doesn't require approval to be real, and the fact that you survived a relationship with a narcissist is proof of a strength they will never have. So let this sink in. Once you've made the decision to leave, leave. And never go back, no matter what role they play, the helpless victim, the slanderer, the reformed ideal lover. There is no reason compelling enough for you to return, except self-destruction. A narcissist is a master of performance. They never abandon the stage. They may cry in front of you, apologize, promise therapy, beg for one more chance, even claim they can't live without you. As when they slip into the role of the wounded victim and you, with your empathy, become their perfect audience. But hear this clearly. Their pain isn't about losing you. It's about losing control. It's not heartbreak, it's ego collapse. It's not love. It's panic over no longer being able to manipulate the one who once responded to every button they pushed. If you return, they'll remember. You're still reachable. You're still vulnerable. And soon after, the mask will fall. They'll stop being the victim and resume their role as abuser, only this time with more sophisticated tactics, more subtle cruelty, and a clearer map of your emotional weak points. And if the victim card doesn't work, they'll flip the script. They'll go on offense, spread rumors, twist stories, smear your name, and turn people against you. They'll say you were the controlling one, the unstable one, the abuser. You'll be boxed into the role of the crazy ex while they sit back and collect sympathy. And the more you try to defend yourself, the deeper into their trap you fall, until one day you'll look around and wonder, "Aimed me. Did I come back at all?" Only to realize you've walked back into a nightmare, one now dressed in prettier clothes. And then comes the most dangerous role of all, the ideal lover. When they jump into a new relationship and start parading around like a gentle, loving, emotionally intelligent partner, it shakes you. You start asking yourself, so they really can love someone? Just not me? Was I the reason they were toxic? No. Don't be fooled. Narcissists don't love people. They use people as props, as mirrors, as shields. That shiny new relationship is just another mask, another performance. It's not about love, it's about optics, image, control of the narrative. You cannot heal in the same place that broke you. You cannot rediscover your worth in the arms of someone who spent years dismantling it. And you cannot change someone who has never wanted to change, only to win. When you walked away, you chose life. You chose truth. You chose self-respect. Don't let a costume bring you back into a play you barely escaped from. You don't owe them forgiveness. You don't owe them another try. You don't owe them closure or space to prove they've changed. Walking away was the bravest decision you ever made. Staying gone is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Because you're not just saying no to toxicity, you're saying yes to yourself. Yes to peace. Yes to healthy love. Yes to a life where you don't have to explain your worth or shrink to be tolerated. If you ever find yourself thinking, am I being too harsh? Remember, a narcissist only shows you love when they feel they're losing you. But the moment they get you back, they go back to who they really are, because they never actually stopped being that person. So no matter how much they cry, beg, or flaunt their new love, be the rock they can't move. The most powerful revenge isn't taking them back and forgiving them. The most powerful revenge is this: never looking back. Keep walking, strong, steady, and free. And finally, please, don't hold on to hope that they will change. I know. You once hoped, you once prayed. You sat there in the dark, eyes swollen from crying, telling yourself, one day he'll realize I was the one who never gave up on him. You believed that real love could change a person, that if you were just patient enough, kind enough, forgiving enough, he would eventually awaken, that if you just gave a little more, sacrificed a little more, you could save him. But here's the truth. A narcissist doesn't change just because you love them. They only change, if at all, when they are willing to face themselves, to confront the darkest parts they've spent their entire lives avoiding. And that almost never happens. You're placing your hope in a miracle from someone who has no interest in healing. You're offering the key to recovery to someone who refuses to admit they're even broken. Even worse, every time you hold on to hope that they'll change, you're handing them power over your emotions. You wait for them to realize. You wait for them to come back. You wait for an apology. You wait for a happy ending. All the while, you're missing your own real life. The one where you deserve to be loved without pain. Yes, narcissists can change when they feel they're losing you. But that's not transformation. It's a survival tactic, a new version of an old strategy. You think it'll be different this time, but it never is. It just brings you right back to where you started. The more you hope, the more you stay trapped in a toxic loop. Hope, disappointment, self-blame, hope again. You're not wrong for having believed, but it's time to stop believing in what isn't real. There is no better version of someone who refuses to heal. There is no love strong enough to change an ego that refuses to admit it's wrong. There is no miracle in a heart that's closed off and only knows how to love in ways that destroy others. And the most painful part? They know you're hoping, and they use it. They'll drop just enough breadcrumbs to keep that hope alive. A vague message, a late-night call, a hint of regret. They might say they're in therapy. They'll toss around, I miss you, or I wish things had been different, just enough to rekindle your hope, and then disappear again, leaving you drowning in the questions they never answer. You do not deserve to live in that waiting room, waiting for a person who never arrives, waiting for a version of them that doesn't exist, waiting for closure in a story that was never written with love to begin with. You might think, if I let go of hope, it means everything we had was a lie. But letting go of hope doesn't erase your love. It simply means you're finally choosing to love yourself more. Not all love is redemptive. Some love comes to wake you up, to teach you how to love someone deeply without abandoning yourself. And if someone needs to change, that person is not them, it's you. Not changing to please them, but changing to escape the cycle, to stop waiting for others to validate your worth, to see yourself clearly, without the distortion of someone who never truly saw you at all. Freedom begins the moment you let go of hoping they'll change, and start believing that you deserve something better. Not better than who they are now, but better than any version they ever pretended to be. because in the end you won't heal by watching them change. You'll only truly heal when you no longer care whether they do or not. And when that day comes, you'll finally understand. Love is not meant to hurt. Change should never demand your suffering, and peace was never supposed to depend on the person who broke you. And one more thing you must remember. Please don't mourn the past. Don't beat yourself up for loving the wrong person. Don't torment yourself for believing, for trying, for forgiving too much. You did the best you could, with the heart you had, with the knowledge you had, and with the hope that real love would be enough. There is no shame in loving deeply. There is nothing wrong with placing your trust in someone you believed would cherish it. That wasn't a mistake. It was proof that your heart was real. I know you've looked back and asked yourself, me, didn't I leave sooner? Hamely did I give them so many chances? Why did I let myself get hurt like that? But let me tell you, you weren't weak, you weren't foolish, you weren't stupid for loving. You were someone who gave everything you had for something you believed was worth saving. You loved with everything in you. You forgave because you didn't want to give up. You endured because you hoped love could win. That makes you strong, not broken. The narcissist didn't choose you because you were lesser. They chose you because you were good, because you're empathetic, compassionate, loyal, and you believed in goodness, even when it was buried under cruelty. They didn't destroy you with force. They wore you down by making you question your own heart. So don't look back on the past as a series of mistakes. Look at it as a journey where you showed up with honesty, gave without faking, and loved without pretending. And now it's time to take all that love and give it back to someone who truly deserves it. You. Every scar you carry is not a sign of weakness. It's the mark of a survivor. If there's something to let go of, let it not be the love you gave. Let it be the shame you've carried for not knowing better at the time. We only see clearly after we've made it through the storm. Don't blame yourself for not seeing back then what's so obvious to you now, because no one learns how to swim while they're drowning. You don't deserve judgment, especially not from yourself. If someone ever made you feel like you weren't enough, weren't lovable, weren't strong, don't become another version of their voice in your head. You've come too far not to forgive yourself. And you must, especially for the times you went back, the texts you shouldn't have sent, the apologies you didn't owe, the hope you held on to, even when you knew better. You've learnt your lesson. You don't have to keep punishing yourself to prove it. Let what's behind you stay behind you. Not because you've forgotten, but because you no longer need it to understand who you are. You are no longer the person who begged for closure, no longer the person who sent message after message, hoping for a crumb of emotional response. No longer the person who thought, if I just love harder, they'll finally change. Now you are the person who knows. Real love never demands you abandon yourself just to survive. You are the person who chose to walk away, not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally started loving yourself more. Yes, you may still hurt. Yes, the memories may still sting. Yes, your heart may still ache sometimes. But pain doesn't mean you were wrong to leave. Pain only means you once loved with all you had. And that deserves to be honored, not punished. You don't have to keep looking back. Life only opens up when you're ready to look forward, and to the version of you who made it out, whose heart may have been shattered, but is still beating, still healing, and still worthy of a life that doesn't require you to bleed just to belong. So, if you're sitting there wondering why the person who broke you now looks like the perfect partner, remember this: it's not the truth. It's a production, a performance, a strategy to control your perception, the narrative, and the audience. They didn't get better because they changed. They got better at pretending, because in the end it's not about losing you, it's about preserving how they look after you're gone. And you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to win them back, outshine the new supply, or scream your pain to the world. You need only one thing: to live a life they no longer have the power to poison. Remember this: if someone only becomes kind after you leave, it's not kindness, it's calculation. If they could only treat you right in your absence, they were never going to do it in your presence. You didn't walk away because you weren't enough. You walked away because you were finally strong enough to stop settling for less. So keep going, keep healing, and don't let the illusion of their transformation dim the truth you fought so hard to see. If this video resonated with you, drop a comment below. You are not alone. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay connected with this community of survivors. Because here we don't wait to be saved, we learn to save ourselves.